welcome you to the another session of Microsoft Azure Infrastructure Management using Terraform. In the last class, we have seen about the how to create the virtual networks in a as a direct way from the Azure portal, as well as on to the your using the Terraform also. So today we are going to learn something different, and that is what how to create. So today we are going to see how to create a different ways, how to use the different ways for creating the subnets. Okay, so if I go to my code, if I see here, so this was our last discussion which we have done. So we have created an Azure virtual network and we have given a reference name and the name of the particular virtual network, location, resource, and these things we have given. Okay, but here guys, one thing we need to understand, which we can use it also. You're able to see here one thing, that is, so one second. So here you can see that I am using the subnet inside this resource block of virtual network. So where I am defining the virtual network, there itself I am defining this subnet, correct? But we can define this subnet, this particular block, as a standalone resource, as a standalone resource. A standalone resource means instead of defining the subnet inside this particular resource block, I can have a separate resource block for the subnet. I can have the separate resource block for the subnet like this. Understood? So in this way, if you want to define the subnet within the resource block of virtual network, that is also okay. If you want to define the subnet as a separate resource, that is also okay. In the previous session recording, if you see the previous session recorded lecture, we have defined it like this to create the virtual network, and they will be creating one particular subnet. But now what we are going to see now is that we are going to create a subnet as a standalone resource also. Okay, that's why we are creating a separate way of creating the subnet. So how we can do that? So here, if you go, I will just open it. So you can see here, I have earlier I was using this particular block of Azure VNet, where I am defining the subnet. But what I will do, I want to create a subnet separately, right? So here I will choose Azure RM subnet. Okay, so if you see here, uh, Azure RM subnet. So if I go down, I have multiple things, right? So so if you see here, or if you type with a common name that is of subnet, you will be able to get it this thing. See, Azure RM subnet. Okay. So how we are defining it, and how, so here in this particular part, you can define it Azure RM subnet. Under the resources, I go to the Azure RM subnet, and here you can see that I have a virtual network block and I have a subnet block. So what I will do, I will go to my Terraform file. I will remove this first of all, because one thing guys, which we need to understand here, defining the subnet inside a resource block, and altogether if you say that I want to do this thing also, resource uh, Azure RM underscore subnet as a reference name you can give. So are you getting? So this is not allowed. What I'm trying to say here is that I have defined a subnet inside a virtual network resource block. And if you want to define another subnet separately as a standalone resource, that both of them is not possible. Either you need to choose a one way. Okay. Either you need to choose the one way to create your subnets. Okay. So that is what approach we need to choose. So what I will do here, what I should do, I will remove this particular. Okay, I will first of all remove this subnet. Okay, depends on clause I have used, because this virtual networks cannot be created without resource group, right? That's why I have put a depends on clause. Now what I will do, I will go to my Terraform file. Where's my Terraform? See, Azure resource subnet. I will copy this thing and I will paste it over here. Okay, Azure RM subnet. This is the one, and I will just give a reference name. Let's suppose subnet uh, you can say uh, subnet hyphen new, any reference name you can give. Okay. And what is the name you want to give? I want to give as subnet A. Okay. And re- uh, resource group name, where it is coming? Resource group name is coming from locals, right? Locals dot. So resource group name, if you see, I have a local block defined here, resource group name, right? So I will be taking the values from the resource group name. See, local dot resource group name and virtual network name. What virtual network name I should give here? My new VNet, right? This name, which I define. Okay. Address prefix, I am just leaving it as it is. Okay. Delegation, I don't want to delegate all these resources. I will just, yeah, this is my block now. Okay. And this subnet is depending upon which particular clause? Can you guys tell me? Subnet is depending upon, I should use the depends on variable, right? So subnet should be depending upon VNet, isn't it? Yes or no? Make sense? So, so for our file to work effectively, I'm using this thing. So you can see Azure RM virtual network VNet, my local location resource group, everything is fine. Subnet new, subnet A, local resource group. Virtual network name also I can see I have taken from here, but I don't want to take this thing. Okay. So virtual network name also I can define it from here. Or what I will do, I will go like this. Since I already defined the virtual network name, I will call this locals dot virtual network name because I have defined my virtual network name over here. Okay. So here also virtual network name, where it is coming from, local network name is coming from the locals. See, local dot virtual network name. So guys, I'm just using the values which I have already defined it, which I have already defined it. Okay. So those things are there. I will just save this thing and I will just run Terraform plan hyphen out main.tf plan. Okay. And it will run a plan for me. See, refreshing state, what it is showing. So you guys need to understand one thing. Earlier I was having some virtual network which I was managing with this particular Terraform file. Okay, with, but now I have made some changes here. I have made some changes in the virtual network name, and because I removed the subnet and I am adding a new subnet. Are you getting my point? I have, what I have done, I earlier I was managing this subnet inside this resource block of virtual network, but now I am defining as a standalone resource. So Terraform will check at the backend of the state file what is present. See, Terraform will perform following option. So you can see that Azure Virtual Network, whatever I have defined. So, so if you see here, minus plus, minus means first it will delete it, and plus means after that it will create a new VNet. See, my this VNet will be there. So this this was the name of my previous VNet which was created. My this VNet will be new one. So replacement is not there. It is always a deletion in the Terraform. So they will delete this new VNet and create a VNet 01. Okay, so those things are there. So that's why it is showing plan to plan will be two to add and one to destroy. They will be one resource to destroy. Now what I will do, I will just run Terraform apply command. So once I run the Terraform apply command, it will start loading all my resource group, and they are asking me to enter the value. I just enter the value as yes, and it is deleted my, and it will start deleting. See, first of all, it will delete because as per the plan here, first is minus, right? If you see, first is minus. So that's why they are first destroying it. Make sense? Okay. So that is how, and now see, they are creating. So everything is transparent in Terraform. So that's what it is doing now. So you can see our two resources as created. What I will do, I will quickly open the portal.azure.com. Okay. I will just quickly log into my portal. so that we will be able to correlate what's going on the Azure portal side. Okay, so you can see that my portal is being loaded, and here under the all resource sections, if I go, I will be able to see my new VNet, that is VNet 01, and the subnet will be this particular subnet, subnet A. Okay, so guys, you can see here. So if you see here, my subnet A, I defined, that's the same name it is created over here. Okay, so that is how I have shown you the two different ways to create your subnets using this. Okay, now what is next in our, this is an alternative way we have seen. Now next is our main target is to create the resources based upon this diagram. Okay, so we have created first of all virtual network, then we have created the subnet. Why we are creating the subnet? Because this virtual machine will be sit inside the subnet only, right? Always remember that we have a virtual network. I will use a different color marker. So this is your VNet. Okay, and this is your subnet, and this inside the subnet your VM is sitting. Make sense? So that is how our VM is sitting inside the subnet. So that's why we have done with this. We have done with this. Now it's next time. Our next resource which we need to create before this VM, because who will provide the IP address to this VM? Obviously the network interface card. So we need to create the network interface card. Network interface card will help this particular VM to assign a IP address. Whenever I say the IP address of the VM is 20.36.70.83 like that. So this is an IP address is being provided by some resource to the VM, and that resource is none other than network interface card also only. So VM does not have any IP address. It is a network interface card that associate the IP address to the VM. Okay, so always remember this thing in a simple nutshell. Okay, so what I will do, our next resource is a NIC card, network interface card, which we need to create it. So if you go to the Azure portal, again, I will show you the manual creation. Just type the network interface card. Okay, if you type over the network interface card, and here, if you see here, this thing. So if you click on this network interface card, so this is a resource group name you are giving, like a particular resource group name. So I will be carrying out the same resource group name. So my resource group name is Rajat RG001 based upon my name. I'm giving it, and NIC card I am choosing. Okay. These values you can choose it. Region you can select. The particular VNet you can select it, and the subnet where it is creating. So I have the subnet here where I have 251 IP addresses are available. So I can select this, and IP version either IPv4 or IPv4 or 6. Okay. Private assignments, IP assignment means this network interface card is having private IP as well as public IP also. Okay. So do you want your private IP to be changing? If variable, if you are okay with the variable, means it is keep on changing after certain events, it will change. So in that case, you can go for the dynamic. But if you want to fix the private IP address, you can select the static. Okay, and you can click on review plus create. So this is the way it will be giving some error. Like I don't want to keep it as a static. I'm just giving it dynamic, and I'm clicking on review plus create. So this is the simplest way to create your network interface card through the Azure portal. But we will be seeing through the Terraform how we can do it. The same thing. So in that particular scenario, what we will do, I will go here and I will type uh, interface. Always try to search with the keyword. See interface. The first one, our resources, network interface. So if you go scroll down, I have something as a subnet I defined. Okay. Now I am using this network interface. So I'm just copying this network interface card and pasting it up in our where pasting it in our main.tf file. Okay, so network interface card, I can say nick, uh, so I can say interface card, any reference name you can give it, guys. on this, it doesn't matter, but always remember that the name which we are giving in the argument section, there only for that only the resource is created. So I would say Nick 001. Okay. And location, what I will choose. Can you guys tell me what location I need to choose? Locals, right? Correct. And what should be the resource group name? Quickly, guys, tell me what should be the resource group name? What will be the resource group name, guys? It should be,
Local
tell
dot
me.
local.
Local dot resource group name. Okay, so that is what. Now I have the IP configuration and I am giving the IP configuration as internal. That's what they are asking, and subnet ID. Now, guys, one thing you need to understand here is that what is there? They are asking me. So this particular configuration, in this particular configuration, I am allocating my this network interface card, okay, to particular subnet, so that I will be getting so that obviously understand like this. I have a VM. If I go here, I have a this VM, okay, and this VM is belongs to this subnet A. Make sense? So I should relate this subnet A to this network interface card, right? Then only it will get the IP address, right? To understand that okay, this VM will be having the IP address. Are you getting my point? So right now what I'm saying, I have a subnet. Inside this subnet only, my VM is sitting. Now tomorrow, if I want that this network interface card to provide IP address to this VM, they should be connected to this subnet only, right? That's what. So in the configuration, if you see here, in the configuration, if you see here, they're asking me about the ID, subnet ID. But did I define anywhere the subnet ID? No, I have only defined the subnet name, right? I have not defined the ID. Then how will I get it? Then how will I get it? So here, if you see, guys, in the subnet ID equals to Azure RM hyphen subnet means value I have taken from here. Okay. Dot example means this name you need to copy paste it. See, copy paste it. Dot ID. So what Terraform will say that Terraform will automatically checks with Azure at the backend and they will be getting this particular subnet ID. Make sense? So that's what the Azure will be. So Terraform will be checking with the subnet backend to get the particular ID. So that's why it is showing is Azure RM hyphen underscore subnet hyphen new dot ID. Okay. So what I will do, I will just save this file. Okay. Network interface card, everything is fine. And I am keeping the private IP allocation as dynamic only. Okay. I don't want that it's to be static. It is, let it be as a stopped. Okay. So what I will do, guys, I will just create Terraform plan command. Terraform plan means I need to save my plan. See, it is refreshing. It is checking that what are the things are there. So it is find everything, but only this thing it will be creating. Means it is, if you see here, it is refreshed. It is saw that okay, RG01 is there. VNet is also there. Subnet is also there. Then what's new? Only this network interface card is new, right? So that's why it is showing plan 1 to add. So if you see here, if I just hit enter Terraform apply, so it is loading my command and it will create this Terraform apply. Okay. After that, it will ask me for enter the value. I will just enter yes. And it start creating my Terraform file with this particular network interface card. Okay. So that's how it will be creating. See, it is creating network interface card is creating and apply complete. So my network interface card is created. So if I go to the Azure portal, if I just come back and refresh it, I have successfully deployed the NIC card using my Terraform file. Rather than going on to the Azure portal and deploying it manually, I have deployed it using this Terraform file. So guys, if you see here, I have a particular NIC card and I have it belongs to Rajat RG01. Everything is okay. Okay, so that is what we have created as per this diagram. If you see as per this diagram. Now guys, understand here. So this is one thing which we have created, the nick card. Now, uh, our next thing is, if you go here, uh, we have one more thing. Let's suppose, understand like this. I told you one thing in a very simple words, that this particular, if I use the different marker, yeah, you see here, the Azure, the Terraform is getting this subnet ID from the Azure. That's true. But I also want, user also wants to see this, what is the subnet ID? Are you getting my point? This is the line which Terraform is checking with the Azure. Means Terraform is checking with Azure to say that, okay, I have passed this, the user have passed this line, Azure RM subnet.subnet.id. So so Azure is giving this particular subnet ID to Terraform. But this user also wants to see this Terraform, this particular subnet ID. This user also wants to see this particular subnet ID. So in that case, Terraform say that you may use the functionality of something called as output. Okay, you can use something called as output. Output, what you want to see as an output? I want to see the subnet. So I am just giving the name of this particular subnet. It's pretty simple, guys. It's very simple. And if you come here, if you go down and if you type value, okay, what value he want to check that? That Azure RM subnet dot new dot id. Are you getting my point? So what I did, I have did nothing. I have just copy paste this thing over here and it will give me the output. So output is a variable into output is a variable. You can say a kind of a you can say a block through which users can get the output at this particular terminal itself. Are you getting my point? Let's suppose from the down the line, if you want to check the virtual network ID also. So what I should do, output virtual network name, that is name over here. And inside the value, I will be going with like something like this. So Azure RM, see, virtual network dot ID. Make sense, guys? Is it clear? So whatever the extra information or the output you want to see on the screen, definitely you can go and type this particular command. Okay, so output will be able, this block is used to provide the output at the terminal screen. Okay, so here I will choose this Azure RM. Okay, and the subnet dot ID. Okay, and what I will do, always try to, whenever you are making the changes, always try to save this thing. Okay, so what I will do, I will just save it and I will just Terraform plan hyphen out main.tf plan. It is loading. See, it is loading and it is refreshing my virtual network. See, it is get the virtual network. Everything is there. So what it is, what they are showing, you can see that changes to output only they found nothing, all are same. Only they are saying that subnet new, that is subnet new ID will be getting on the output. Okay, so that is how it is been showing. See, everything is same. Everything is same in the configuration. Only the user wants to get the output. See, that's what they are showing changes to output. Okay, so for that, what we need to run here to see to perform exactly these action, run the following command like that. So Terraform apply. So once I run the Terraform apply command, it will start creating it. It will start not refreshing. It will start refreshing it and it will ask me for the value. Do you want to see? Yes. And you can see that I have got my resource ID. See, I have got my resource ID for the subnet new in the output section. Make sense? Is it clear? Very simple, right? So always, that's what I am trying to say. Always try to understand the basics and the infrastructure. There are multiple hard things also in the Terraform. We should not need to be worried about those things. At least we understand the basics. Tomorrow we can do these things very well. Okay, so fundamental needs to be clear. If in case if any code you are not facing or you're not getting some output and all, you can make a use of this output block. Okay, and you can put this output block top also, down also, because I already told in my previous session that Terraform doesn't care that what order you have written this resource block. I am repeating once again. So if you think that Terraform will first create the resource group and then create the virtual network, then it is not true. You can keep this resource group down and this virtual network up also. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at all. Only the sequence user is knowing or Microsoft Azure is knowing, but Terraform doesn't knows that which resource block to execute first or to second. Okay, they just execute. That's why we are using the block of depends on block. Okay, to get our work done without any errors. Okay, so these things are there. It's pretty much discussed. Okay, now let's understand the further part. So we have created a network interface card. Okay, now what next resource we need to create it? Next resource which we need to create is our public IP address. Okay, why we need to create the public IP address here? Because understand like this, because I want this particular public IP address to be assigned to this particular server. But what is the need? Because let's suppose I am present outside this network in Canada. For example, I am at the Canada location and this is in the India location. This VNet is in the India location. Then I should be using this public IP address also only, right, to access this server? Yes or no? I am present in the different location far away from the India virtual network where this VNet is deployed. So I will be using this public IP address to get access to this server. Okay, so that's why the public IP address needs to be associated to first to this network interface card, and then only they will be providing to this VNet VM, right? That's what I'm saying. Correct? Are you getting my point? Whether it is private IP, whether it is public IP, okay, all these things needs to be assigned to this network interface card, and then they need to assign to this VM. Okay, make sense, guys? Is it clear? Yes or no? Anyone having any doubt? No? Yes, no, anything? All good? Okay, so yeah, so here you can see. So for this public IP address, what I will do, I will type public underscore IP. See, Azure public IP. So here, if you go, I will type address. So address is not there. So what? So I will be typing with this particular IP. So see, Azure public IPs. So if you type public, I want to search for the resource block. So here it is coming, data source, network resources. So public IP, Azure RM public IP. Always you will be getting your particular example usage under the resource block. So Azure RM public IP. So if you see here, I am getting this public IP from here. Just copy paste it over here and paste it over here. See, Azure RM public IP. So I will say my PIP like that. Okay. Name what I will, the name I will give you given for the this thing, PIP01, public IP01, and resource group name. Resource group name I will be choosing here local dot resource group name, and location. What location shall I be choosing? I will be choosing local dot location. Okay, and allocation method, what allocation method I should go? I'm okay with the dynamic also. Okay, I'm okay with the dynamic also. Okay, dynamic means public IP address keep on changing. So if you are confused about what argument we need to pass, see, allocation method, static, dynamic, and these are the required section. See, these are the required section. Okay, so I will just remove this tag. I don't need a tag as of now. Okay, and this is my Azure public IP is there, and I will save this thing. See, I have saved it. Everything is fine. Azure RM public IP, and I will just click on Terraform plan -out main.tf plan. Okay. So guys, this is the way you can create the public IP address. See, they are saying that your public IP address will be created. Okay. But understand here what I'm saying, that please understand why we are using the Terraform. That also is important to understand. See, now if I go to the Azure portal, I will first create this public IP address. Okay. That is a first step. And second step, I will be associating to this network interface card. Yes or no? Obviously, right? So here, if from the Azure portal, if I do, I will be creating two different steps from the Azure portal manually. Are you getting my point? I am creating the public IP address first, then I am associating to this network interface card. That is a second step. So that too, we are doing it manually. Okay, but if I want to do it all together, both of them together using the Terraform script file, then yes, it is possible to do it in this code itself. How? If you go here in the Terraform, and if you see here uh, something called as, so if you come here and if you see in this particular network interface card, okay, I will show you something, then you can relate it what I'm saying. So if you go to your NIC card, guys, there is something called as IP configurations. Okay, IP configuration, this I created with my Terraform file. See, I created with my Terraform file as an internal. See this thing. Now what I'm saying, that I have in the IP configuration, I have the option. Uh, so the option here as an internal. Okay, so here I will be choosing associating the public IP address from here. So I will be selecting the public IP address from here and selecting the public IP address which I created. Okay, so here I am selecting my value and I am selecting the private IP address, and then I am choosing the public IP address. Okay, so this is the way, manual way to attach your public IP address to the network interface card, to the network interface card. Okay, that is one thing. This is the one approach. See how I came to the IP configuration, go to the internal. Okay, inside that, either you can choose the dynamic private IP address to be dynamic or static, you can choose it, but I wanted to be keep it as a dynamic and associate public IP address. So public IP address, I am choosing this thing and I can click on save. Okay, this is the way. But from Terraform, how would you do it? So under this IP configuration only, under this IP configuration, because in the portal also we are managing from IP configurations only, right? So under the IP configuration, what I will do, I will just type public. See, public IP address, it's coming, and public IP address is coming. Then I will be choosing my public IP. See, Azure RM public IP, this thing, public IP name, okay, and dot name. Okay, so I am getting my public IP address ID from here, or you can choose the ID. Yeah. Okay. So now what I'm doing, so first it will create this public IP address. First it will create the public IP address, and then it will assign it to my network interface card under this. It's pretty simple, guys. If you see Azure RM public IP address, I got from here, my PIP from here dot ID. So ID I have got it. Okay, so those things ID means this ID. Again, the Terraform will get this thing from the backend to the Azure. Okay, so what I will do, I will just save this thing and I will go with Terraform plan -out main.tf plan. See, it is refreshing the state, VNet, subnet and all, and see, it is saying that public IP address, my IP will be created. Okay, so everything is there, NIC card is there. Okay, and public IP is created, one to change, plan one to add and one to change. means one to change means this will the public IP address will be added, and change means under the IP configuration I am getting this thing. Make sense? So it is changing also. So this sign, whatever you are saying, this sign is of changing, updating. Okay. So that's what it is happening. Now Terraform apply command I will run, and it will run my Terraform apply command. See, now it is running. Enter the value. Yes. So public IP address is creating. See, Azure my PIP is creating, and it is completed. And it see now it is modifying. See, now it is modifying. It is adding. My public IP address is adding to the network interface card. So you just imagine I have done it through just modifying the code. How simple is that? But if you want to go to the portal, add it, then there is a lot of overhead, right? So if you see here, if I refresh this portal, Azure portal, and if you see here in the IP configuration, go to the internal, and here, if you see, in the overview, sorry, yeah, in the overview, you can see that my public IP address is already associated. See, already associated to my NIC card. Okay, so that's how it has been associating. Now, all these things are created. What is the next step? I need to create this network security group, right? Why we need to create the associate the network security group? Because I want to control the inbound and outbound traffic. Inbound traffic, which is an incoming traffic to this VNet. Outbound traffic means outbound traffic to outside the VNet, right? So those things which we need to create it, and we need to proceed accordingly. So in that case, the incoming traffic and outgoing traffic, all these things we need to manage using the network security group. Okay, so those who don't know, so network security group is a particular uh, your device or a tool, you can say a resource in Azure, which will be providing security to your network interface card and on the subnet level. If you want to note it down, you can note it down also that energy you can either attach to this particular network interface card as well as onto this subnet also. In whole Azure, in Microsoft Azure, you can only assign this energy to two resources. That is first the network interface card, and second is on the subnet level. Okay, so those things are there. Now, if you see in the portal, Azure portal, how we can create it up. So I can just type network interface card, sorry, not network interface card, NSGs. I will be typing. So network security group I am getting. I can click create from here. Just select the resource group. Okay, I will select the resource group and give the NSG value. I will choose some other resource group so that it will not hamper my production environment. NSG, I will just give a normal name, and I have choose the different resource group for creation. Okay, so click on create, and it is creating my particular NSG. So this is how it is creating. So here, if you go to the resource, okay, so you can see that in the three inbound rules, I have three inbound rules, that is VNet to VNet. It is allowing the VNet to VNet source and destination allow. So by default, three rules from the inbound security rule is created and three from the outbound security rule is created. So you can see that I have VNet to VNet, source to destination, VNet to VNet connection is allowed. Load balancer to any, it is allowed, and any to any, deny all inbound, it is deny. Okay. So that is one thing which is present over here. Now, if you see guys, one thing, these Microsoft say that you are getting these rules, but you can always override these rules. You can always override these rules by creating a newer rule with the number 100 to between 4096. Means if these are the highest number of 65,000 like that. Okay. Similarly for the outbound also. So if you want your rules to override these rules, you can create any rule with the number starting from 100 to 4096. Okay. So that you can do it. So I will show you. Let's suppose I want to create an inbound rule. So I will just click on add and select source any destination. Destination I'm selecting the type as RDP. I'm saying because since we have our this particular image as a VM and I want to log into this server. So in that case, what I will do, I will be creating an RDP rule. I will be creating an RDP rule. So any source anyone is coming from any IP address with any port, destination is RDP over port number 3389. Okay. In that case, allow with the priority number 100. Okay. So if you have given any number like this, see, they are saying that the number should be between 100 and 4096. Any number you can use it. Okay. Any number, but maximum this thing. And even if you cannot use the rule number of 99 also, see, it is not allowed. Why? Because always we need to use 100, or whatever it is like that. Okay. So allow RDP inbound and I am clicking on add. See how much manual task I have done. I have created the NSG from the Azure portal. Then I am manually clicking on add. I am creating on this particular allow RDP. And that's what I am doing. It is I can't simply create it again and again for multiple servers, right? But if I have a Terraform, I can do it with the code. How I can do this with the code? By just going here and typing network security. If you type network security only, it will come with this part. So they will give you a block and see inside the block, you are getting what? You are getting the security rule. You can create one security rule like this. Make sense? You can create a security rule like this. So what I will do, I will just copy it. Okay. And I will go to my Terraform file and paste it over here. See, I will just give the name as NSG0, like my NSG. Okay. And name, what name I would like to give. I would say NSG001. Okay. Location, what location it should be. So location, I would say local dot location and resource group. It should be like local dot resource group. Okay. And name, what name of the rule I should use? RDP rule. Okay. Name of the RDP rule, priority 100, 100. See number, it is a number. That's why it is not a double quote. This is a type of the type, right? It is a number type. If you want to make it as a string, you can use double quotes like this, but number 100 is a number, not a string, right? So direction inbound, allow TCP, source port star, destination port, what should I give? 3389. Source address prefix star, destination like this, and tag. I'm just removing the tag. I don't need a tag. And guys, this network security group is depending upon on my resource group. Okay. On my resource group, it depends, right? So that's why I'm using a depend upon clause. Make sense? So I will just add it. I will just save it. Okay. And just run this Terraform plan hyphen out. So it is running my Terraform plan and see at the same time it is creating this rule also. At the same time it is creating this rule also. See, my network security group is created with this particular security rule. Make sense? So how fast I can do it? Very easily, right? I can do it very easily. So this is all about the Terraform creation of the network security group. So they are asking me to value. Yes, I will add it. Okay. So this is how we are creating. This is how we are creating our network security group. See. So it is showing me this thing, apply complete resource one added, and output I still getting this output as subnet ID. But if you want to remove it, then also you can do it. See, means because output is there, right? So it will keep on coming the output on the screen. Okay, so I don't need the output, or you can keep it also. It's depending upon you. Okay, so if you go here on the Azure portal, if you go here onto this, if you refresh, if you come to the network security groups, okay, you can see NSG001 is created. But guys, one more thing, you can associate this energy to this subnet also. You can associate this energy to the subnet also directly from here, from the code. Okay, directly from the code you can associate it. So what for this, what should I do? I will go for this, and there is something called as Azure RM Subnet Network Security Group Association. Okay, so if you come down, there is something called as this particular resource block. You can copy it and you can paste it over here. See, this block means I want to associate. So, okay, understand like this, why I am associating, understand. My, this particular network security group is created. My RDP rule also created on here, but I need to associate it to the subnet level, right? Or to this NIC card level, right? Then only it will give this RDP privileges to this VM. Yes or no? Then in that case, how should I associate this to the subnet? So for that part, I have something. What is that? I have this thing that is called Azure RM Subnet Network Security Group Association. So what I will do, I will just type subnet associate, any name you can give it, you know, right? Any name, subnet hyphen associate. Okay. And subnet ID. So which subnet you need to associate it, guys? I need to associate to my this subnet. Where is my subnet gone? Yeah. So subnet hyphen new. Okay. So I will be typing here. Okay. Network security group ID. Network security group ID means my this name. What is my name of the network security group? Energy. So it's pretty simple. If you see, getting a resource block. See, Azure RM subnet associate, and this subnet ID, this is ID is been associating to my network security group. Okay, my this particular network security group. So here what they are asking, understand like this. So if you look for this particular thing, this particular network security group is associating to this particular subnet ID. That's why you need to give the network security group, because it's a different block. This is different block and this is different block, right? So how would this particular block will know that which network security group ID? So network security group is associating to the subnet ID. That's why I need to provide both the values like there. Okay. So those things are there. Now what I will do, this thing I have done. Now I will just go and click on save and run Terraform plan hyphen out main.tf plan. So it will run my this thing. See, it is refreshing, and one to add. This is asking. See, associate. So this will be added. This will be associating my subnet ID. So I will run Terraform apply command. Okay. So this will run my Terraform apply command and enter a value as yes. So you can see that apply complete. Okay. And resources one to added. Okay. See, one added. So if you go to the Azure portal, and if I see the changes, and if I just come back again to my NSG01, you would see that my under the subnets, my subnet is associated. Okay. So now I if any server belongs to this subnet, they will be able to do RDP using this RDP rule. Okay. If the subnets is having Linux server, if the subnet is having Linux server, then you can create another rule for the port 22 for Linux machines. Okay. But that too also can be managed using Terraform. Okay, guys. So this is all about the Terraform. One more thing which is very important, that you can get this security rule as a separate resource also, as a separate resource also. So what I'm saying, that if you go here in the network security group, see, we are getting this network security rule as a separate resource also. So what I'm saying, that you can define the network security group separate as a separate resource and network security rule as a separate resource. Just the same thing which we have seen for the subnet level, right? The same thing you can do it for these things defining separately. That is also possible. But both of them, if you're defining it within the security group and if you are defining it separately also, both of them cannot be possible. Make sense? Clear? Yes or no? Okay. So that is what. So now our everything is created. Now finally, what we need to do? Finally, I need to create everything is there. This is there. Subnet is there. Network interface card, public IP, network security group. Now we need to create this particular VM, that is the virtual machine. So how to create the virtual machine here? So we can create the virtual machine by going to this particular block. Again, I will type virtual machine. Okay. So here I will get multiple flavors of the virtual machines, but I will choose Windows virtual machine. Okay. Azure RM Windows virtual machine. So all these things are there. What I will do, I have created everything. Now I will just go and copy this particular block over here. Okay. See, I just copy the block of the virtual machine, that is Windows virtual machine. It is having a resource type Windows virtual machine, and I will say WinVM. Okay. And I will give the name of this virtual machine as my VM. Okay. Resource group name, where it is coming from, local. Location, where it is coming from, local dot locations. Size of the VM, if you are sure, you can use this underscore F2 also. Admin username, password, all these things. Network ID, network interface ID. They're asking for the network interface ID, guys. Network interface ID. Why? Can you tell me why they are asking for the network interface ID? Because it should be assigning the IP address, private IP address, public IP address to this VM, right? Then how should this network interface will be assigning? Through this particular values only, right? So here it will come and you can go to your network interface card. Where is your network interface card? This is your network interface card. Copy it and where it is gone. Yeah. So yeah, network interface. Under this network interface, I will be just pasting the name Azure RM network interface dot network interface card dot ID. OS disk caching means read and write. These options I am choosing by default. Okay. Windows Server, that is 2016 latest version is available. Everything is fine. Okay. Everything looks good. But as a safety precautions, you can add the depends on clause. That is your this particular VM is depending upon first of all the resource group. Okay. Now, till now, we have seen how to add a single depends on variable, right? How to add the single depends on means resource group. But this VM is having multiple dependencies. So how you can put it, just put a comma and separated value. This VM should be depending upon the network interface card also. So see, within the same block, I have used two dependency operations, that is RG001 and network interface card. Okay, so if you have three dependency, four dependency, just with the help of comma separated value, you can do that. Okay, I will just save it and press up arrow, Terraform plan -out main.tf plan. So it is loading my plan and See, it is asking me that, okay, this will be creating a Windows virtual machine will be created. So I will say, okay, I will just type Terraform apply command and it will run it. Okay. So Terraform apply command is there. It is refreshing. Enter the value. Yes, I want to create it. So my virtual machine is started creating it. So this is how we are creating the virtual machine. Now, in the meanwhile, it is creating. I wanted to take you on to the another slide. That is, this we have created public IP address. We have created. We have created the network security group also using the Terraform, and we have also created. Just now we are creating the virtual machines also. Okay, Windows virtual machine. Now there is one more thing that before I in the meanwhile it is creating. You can see it is creating. In the meanwhile, I wanted to talk on the cost part also. It is very important in an infrastructure to understand your cost, what cost your infrastructure is occurring. So if you go here under the home, under the subscription section, if you go to this particular subscription, okay, under this overview part, guys, there is something called as cost by resource. You can view your infrastructure cost by clicking on view details under the cost analysis tab. Under the cost analysis tab. See, it is refreshing it. It is refreshing and you can see that I have the actual cost. That is, what is my actual cost coming? 441.37, forecast unavailable 469. So current cost is 441. Okay. If you want to see all the cost in USD, that is also possible. But if you want to, since our country currency is INR, Indian rupees, so it is coming in, you can filter it using that. Okay. From the service, virtual machine is taking 92 rupees. Total Microsoft Defender for Cloud 250 rupees is a service for protecting your services like a Defender, Azure Defender for Cloud. Virtual network is took like 94 part, 94 rupees. So guys, you can filter it based upon the service. Here you can pay, filter based upon the location. See, I have the various location on which I can calculate the cost. Here you can filter it based upon your resource group. Let's suppose you are having the only this Azure Made Easy resource group. So from this particular way, you can track that which resource is causing how much occurrence to your infrastructure, because cost is also managing cost is also important, right? At the end, you are providing something, some services to the customer will ask you, definitely your clients will ask you that what cost it is occurring. So this way you can track it. Okay. So this is how you can download it also. You can download it in PNG, Excel, CSV. Those things also you can download it. Okay. So yes, our resource is created. See, our virtual machine in the meanwhile is created. And if you want to see here, you can go here to this virtual machines and you can see that my VM is created using Terraform. Okay, so this is how our VM is created. Okay, so this is about our tracking of the cost and VM creation. Now, since there is one more thing that you would say that this is very long code now, right? This is under this main.tf. I have a lot of things. You see, I have defining the required provider also, providers also, multiple things, local variables also, right? Local variable resource also, resource group, virtual network, network interface card, subnet, all these things. It become a long code of 121 lines. That is very much long, right? So in that case, guys, how would I overcome this thing? By splitting our files. By splitting our files. So how can I split this file? So under this same directory, under the c.terraform, I have everything under my Terraform. C in Terraform folder, I have everything. So what I will do, I will click on this create, see, new file, and I will create one file that is provider.tf. Provider.tf. See, that's why I have asked you to install the extension. See, by installing the extensions, automatically it is populating now. See, automatically it is populating now. Are you getting my point? Everything. I just created a new file. How you can create it? By just expanding this under the Terraform. There is a option of new file. Just click on this new file and it will ask you to create the new file. Okay. So those things are there. I have created one new file that is provider.tf. So what I will do, you can go to this main.tf section and copy your code from here. I am taking these two blocks, required provider and the provider, and I am pasting under this providers block. Make sense? And I am clicking on save. If I'm running now, what do you think? Do you think that any changes will come? Answer me. I have separated the provider section in the different file and main.tf file is there. OK, now can you guys tell me any difference will come while running the Terraform plan command? Yes or no?
No,
No. Why no? And why yes? Any reason?
it is like it is in the
Same directory.
same state.
Same state as well as the but I have removed this from the main section. I have removed what my question is. I have removed this required provider and the provider values, and I have created the separate file. So what Terraform will say, even if you run this Terraform plan command, right? So here, okay, providers, duplicate values. 1 second, duplicate required provider. A module have been one required provider. I believe. Okay. So what we'll do, just give me a minute. Yeah. So what I will do, I will just take this provider section only. OK, I will cross it up and paste it under the provider section. OK, save it, save this file, CLS. Duplicate required provider, duplicate. Oh, OK, my bad. I didn't save this file also. I need to save this file also, right? 1 second. Are you getting what error we are getting? So just give me a minute. Yeah. So I need to save both the files. Save, save. OK, CLS. See, now it is running. So always whenever you are making the changes to your configuration file, you need to save it. I didn't save it. That's why it was giving me the error. See, I have no changes. Your infrastructure matches the configuration. Makes sense? So you can divide we can split our configuration into the multiple files, but provided you need to save both the files separately. Okay, you need to save it. That's how I have created a separate file for my provider. So, but this file needs to be within the same directory under the Terraform folder only. Then only if you say that I will be keeping this file on my desktop and will run it, no, then it is not possible. It needs to be on the same directory where all your files are present. Make sense? Got it?
Yes.
Cool. Now, there is one more thing we can understand about the variable. OK, we can understand something about the variable. Now what is that? Let me open it. So guys, there are basically from an exam point of view, there are three variables. You can note it down if you want. There are three variables. So first of all, we have seen about the output variable, output blocks, output values are like to return value for the Terraform module. We have one more thing that is called local variable, local blocks we have defined, that is locals, right? That also we have seen. We have one more thing that is called input variable. So input variable. So you can understand like this. When you want to pass such values during your runtime, when you want to pass such values during your runtime, in that case, we are going with this input variables. Make sense? So if you see here, I am declaring an input variable. So it's pretty simple to declare. What I can do, I will be defining the variable. Let's suppose I want to give the particular variable during the runtime. In that case, that is also possible. Okay, how? Let me show you. See, these are the various types you can use. Type string you can use the default number also, right? See, number also you can use it. Multiple things are there. Now, what I will do, I will go to my configuration code under main.tf, and here and at the last part, I will type variable, 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 which thing I want to pass it. Let's suppose I want to pass. Okay, I will not confuse you. So what I will do, I will remove this thing. I will come to this provider section. Okay, and here I will define it. Variable. Okay, under the variable, I want that customer to pass this value, client secret. Customer to pass this client secret value during the runtime. Means since it is very important, it is very sensitive information. I don't want to pass it prior. Okay, so that's what I am choosing, variable client secret. Any reference name you can give it. Okay, and type I would define as a string. Okay, and sensitive, there is an option called sensitive. There's an option called sensitive. So sensitive, if I type true, so it will be it will be passing during the runtime. Copy this and I will paste it in my notepad. I have pasted this in my notepad and I have choose it like this. OK, make sense? Click on save. Terraform plan. So type is string. OK, I need to check that. Yeah, so I need to remove the double quotes. OK, now it's fine. Just save it and Terraform plan. Understood? So what I will do, I will take this value and paste it over here. See, after getting this value, it is running. Building could not acquire access token. So the way, OK, once again, I will pass it Terraform plan. It will ask me the value. Let's see. OK, Terraform init. Maybe the way it is getting pasted, it is not correct. 1 second, just let me refresh it. Terraform init. Let me initialize it. Terraform plan. So I'm passing this value. I guess it is not correctly pasting it up. Maybe some issue with my keyboard. That's what. Because I'm trying to paste it. You can try that once. If it is not there, we will be talking this on the next session. No worries. But maybe some issue with my keyboard. I'm not able to paste this thing. But this is a way you can try it actually. By saving this particular client secret or any value which you can pass, which you're trying to pass at the runtime, you can try passing it. OK, so this is about the variable which we are passing. So let me know if you are not able to pass it, then we will be discussing it again in the next session. OK, in the meanwhile, I'm just saving the previous configuration file. OK, just try it and let me know.
Okay.
So yeah, so this is about the thing. Now one more thing which is left, that is called as Terraform state file. Terraform state is very important, guys. So if you see that Terraform.tf state, Terraform maintains everything in this particular file. That is one thing. You can see it's a particular JSON file that serial number versions, right? How many times you have updating your file, or what is the version of this particular configuration file? Everything is present over here. Are you getting? See everything. So even if you look for the instances, you have the DNS server, you have the server, you have the front end IP, internal, what is the IP, what is the dynamic. So Terraform say that do not change this Terraform state file manually. I repeat once again, do not change this terraform.tf state file manually. It is always a best practice to change your configuration file rather than the terraform.tf state file. So this is an interview question also. A lot of companies can ask you when you sit for an interview that where the Terraform is managing the state. So this is the file name. Terraform.tf state is the file which will be giving you. You can change it. You can change it only if you are unable to handle your main.tf file. But as a like a recommendation from the Terraform, do not make changes to these values manually. Are you getting? It will affect your configuration. It will affect the present state of the configuration. Okay, so that is the function of terraform.tf state. Is it clear? Okay, so this is about the Terraform TF state file. Now there is one last thing that is called as validating your configuration. So you can see that I have everything written, and I have working everything is working fine. So, but sometimes what happen, you're not sure about the syntax. There might be a syntax error can come to this particular configuration file. So how would you look after it? In that case, you can run this command that is called as terraform validate. Once you run this terraform validate command, it will validate all your syntax error for your particular main.tf file. So for that, our this command is useful, terraform validate command. The configuration is valid. Let's suppose I will show you one thing. Let's suppose I will change something. Let's suppose I remove location from local dot location. And if I run terraform validate command. Okay, I need to save it. 1 second. Yeah. Now if you run terraform validate command, see, it is throwing me the error. Understood? Got the difference? So that's why it is validating for your syntax error. So local dot location, save it, and now it's success. Okay. So this is how we are managing the configuration state file.